Is Mackenzie Peck, the founder and editor-in-chief of Math magazine, a feminist pornography quarterly. She also describes herself as a queer and progressive version of Hugh Hefner. Mackenzie, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
You by profession are a freelance designer. What prompted you to create the magazine?
Well, I was actually trained as an artist, and when I was sort of discovering myself sexually, I was really disappointed by the porn options available, and I was finding out all these amazing things about human sexuality, my sexuality, and it wasn't really reflected in the media that I was finding. So I think my artistic instinct was to go ahead and create that media that I was wishing for.
We're now witnessing, Mackenzie, an explosion in porn, and thanks to the internet, almost unfettered access. But I would like to know, in your opinion, how is this actually impacting the industry as such?
Well, it's an exciting time because you can see how porn is being made. You can break down these barriers that once existed. It doesn't have to be this shady practice anymore, like the fact that you're talking to me right now, the fact that I can communicate directly with my readers through spaces like Instagram and Twitter is really special. And you can directly communicate with porn performers now. You can collaborate with them in a way that is very new.
But the classic porn film is still very much seen through the prism of a straight guy, and it does seem to degrade women, and the industry refuses to see that the world has changed, and now, as we've heard there, that 1 in 3 women are watching porn, yet traditional porn is still very violent when it comes towards the treatment of women.
There's an amazing movement that I'm proud to be a part of where women and non-binary identifying people are creating the media that they want. You know, similar to my story, other people are really eager to change that ratio of violent imagery, triggering imagery, and imagery that reinforces sort of stereotypes that don't really help anybody. You know, I think men are just as oppressed by sort of violent mainstream porn as women are. They feel like they have to behave that way because that's how porn stars are, and it's just not the case.
But people like you are still in the minority, though, aren't you, within the industry?
I'd say so.
So let's talk about the images in your magazine. I mean, I was looking at them, and they're almost arty, one would say. I'm just curious to know, how do you ensure that what you create is indeed female-friendly?
Well, I'm female identifying, so I think that just by virtue of being the creator of this material, it's going to be in line with those values. Really, the whole magazine is an illustration of my beliefs. It's not a business plan or anything, it's just my worldview. And I work really hard to make sure that I'm elevating voices that are too often ignored in mainstream media generally. So people of color, hearing from sex workers directly, working with female producers and non-binary producers and trans people will automatically show a different take on sexuality than what you're describing as most common.
Mackenzie, I'm going to pause it there for a moment because we can't talk about pornography without talking about the impact it's having on teenagers, not to mention the messages that they retain about the nature of sex between women and men. Some 95% of videos can be accessed for free online and without parental control, as this report shows from our colleagues at France 2 Télévision.
From adult taboo to child's play, teenagers are now able to access explicit movies in a matter of seconds.
Even someone under 18 can go on the website. The only thing he has to do is to press the enter button. No need for proof, no email address, nothing. You can choose whatever you want. 18-year-olds, German, babysitter.
Some also produce their own pornography, trading X-rated images with girls.
And was this your girlfriend?
No, it was just someone I knew. We went to the same school. Whenever we get a picture, we're like, check it out. She sent me this.
1 in 3 students had seen their first adult movie by the time they were 13, and many say porn affects their sexuality. This school nurse is on a mission to give students an educational context to the videos they might see.
Do these videos leave a mark?
Yes, a little. Sometimes when you watch porn, you want to do it in real life. You feel that way sometimes.
When pornography is available in their pocket, they build their sexuality based on those videos only. So boys think women have to scream during sex and sometimes even experience pain.
Girls too feel the effects.
Women have to be like porn actresses. They shouldn't have any body hair, just like porn stars. They have to act like porn stars. And so they think that women can't say no to anything.
To fight against these stereotypes, the school nurse meets with classes each year. However, not all educators are so comfortable with the subject, and sessions like this one are still rare in France.
Now, watching that report with me is Mackenzie Peck, the founder of a feminist porn magazine entitled Math. Mackenzie, I'm sure this is not the first time this question has been posed to you, but do you believe accessing porn at such a young age can in fact have a negative impact, especially for teenage boys?
Well, I think the key really is sex education and media literacy. When the education system is failing our children, they turn to the internet, they turn to porn for understanding anatomy, gender, their own sexuality. So when our systems fail, that's where they go. I think that's the real problem. And then media savviness is key, understanding what it means to make pornography, what tools are being used in media to manipulate the viewer or tell a story or create a fantasy.
And once again, Mackenzie, young women seem to suffer from this, that they're not only under extraordinary pressure to look good, but are now being asked to take part in sexual acts that many consenting adults would blanch at.
Yeah, it breaks my heart, honestly. I think creating a society where we can talk about these things openly is really essential, and it helps us understand things like consent and establishing boundaries. You know, a lot of adults today even have a hard time talking about these things, never mind youngsters.
Mackenzie Peck, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much.